social capital and the halo effect. That is what tonight's video is going to be all about. I'm going to explain how you can use this to your advantage, why most people completely neglect these powerful principles, and how when you start to be aware of social capital and the halo effect, you can really kind of dictate life on your own terms. And as I'll kind of circle back to, it's really helping other people out, because essentially when you don't understand these things, you're opening not only yourself up to conflict, but other people up to conflict. So learn social capital and the halo effect. I'm going to jump right into it here, and let's get into it. So you may be asking, what exactly is social capital? So the idea, let me move this over here, of social capital is that I'm going to use the example of a bank account. So in every relationship, you have your social capital bank account, and the other person in the relationship has their bank account. Now, if you have a really high balance in your social capital bank account, let's say it's $10 million, well, you're in luck, because now those little withdrawals, and a social capital withdrawal might be something like, let's say you're in a relationship, an intimate relationship, or let's just say it's a roommate. That might be easier. So you're in a relationship, you have a roommate, and you forget to flush the toilet. Well, that's going to bring down the social capital a little bit. Maybe you forget to take out the trash, brings it down a little bit. These little things that, if you have a high social capital, they're not going to be a big deal. But as we can flip to, if you have really low social capital, and in this analogy, if you have a really low bank account, social bank account, now those little things, they might push you down below that threshold into the negative. Now, as you may guess, when that gets down into the negative, right, that's when you start to have arguments, confrontations, when the relationship is not going well. Maybe if it's an intimate relationship where you end up getting a divorce or breaking up, or maybe that person ends up even worse, cheating on you. So, how do you build up that social capital bank account? Well, that is in many ways the question to ask. And I would say that's how I want to transition now to the halo effect. Now, this is going to increase your social capital. Now, the halo effect, in an extreme example, would be a celebrity would have a humongous halo effect, like Brad Pitt or LeBron James or Cristiano Ronaldo, Beyonce, Madonna, you name it, some high-level, A-level celebrity would have a massive halo effect. And what essentially that means is that they have a lot of eyes on them, a lot of attention on them, and essentially their aura is like a magnet that just wants to attract people to them. They could do something really bad. It'd be like, I don't know, like they could be like, for example, let's say Beyonce, if she walked up to you and you're a guy, she could be like, well, I want to do this terrible thing to you, but if I do that to you, I'll let you date me. Well, you probably would let her do it to you, because you're like, wow, she has so much aura, social capital, halo effect, that she can get away with almost whatever she wants. Now, again, that's not to say that you want to build all this up and then use it in a derogatory way or in a negative way, but you start to get the idea how, as you start to build this halo effect, people want to come to you. In fact, now you're going to have to actually start being very selective about the people that you want to bring into your life, because, of course, you can't bring in just Joe Schmo, simply because at that level of status or celebrityness, you don't have the time or the energy to engage with people that are below a certain threshold. So inevitably, as you build your halo effect, your social capital in every relationship will go up, and you're going to have much higher quality people in your life. So how does an average person, or just a normal person, because most people, to be truthful and honest, don't want to become Beyonce. They don't want to be a celebrity. Like, maybe you kind of do in the back of your mind, but in all reality, you probably don't. Because think about how many problems that's going to create. And that's not to say that you shouldn't achieve success. I'm just saying that level of kind of celebrity vibe famousness, maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. That's a topic for another day. But how do you start achieving some of that, right? Well, that's a good question. I think this is a very simple one, but it's one that I have to throw in there. Cultivate your social media profiles so that they're halfway decent. Meaning, your Instagram, have a good line, have a good profile picture, have good content on there, post consistent stories that you can pin that people can go back and watch, fun, quick stuff on Instagram. Maybe, you make certain little things like getting better fashion, wearing some cool clothes, right? Don't wear the same exact thing that everyone else is going. Kind of step out of the box a little bit. Just be a little bit more unique, right? Be a genuine, empathetic person, meaning you have feelings for other people. It's not just all about based off of your own ego. But with that being said, make yourself better. There's a cool saying, it goes, double down on yourself, not on the other person. And what that essentially means is focus on improving your own life, getting more knowledge, getting healthier, eating better food, exercising, building out your social media profiles, reading books and learning new information. And inevitably, when you do that, you're going to bring in more people into your life, build up your own social capital, and build up that halo effect. Now, one final point about the halo effect is that in almost every relationship, when it goes south or sour or terminates, it is really based around a uneven dynamic, or one person that has all the halo effect and the other person that doesn't have any. So ultimately, in order to really be in a successful relationship, you have to have equal, maybe not necessarily 50-50, but somewhat equal levels of a halo effect and social capital. Otherwise, the dynamic is too skewed. If you read the book, The Human Magnet, or Human Magnet Syndrome by Ross Rosenberg, he talks about narcissists and codependence. And if it gets too skewed, it's a dysfunctional relationship. Well, in many ways, this same point applies, because if one person has all the halo effect, the other person is essentially like buckling at their knees to do whatever. This person has all the power, but while that may seem like a good thing, inevitably it's going to just make the relationship really skewed and uneven, and it's not going to work long term. So you need to think about not so much as like building up this massive halo effect and social capital so that you can dominate the other person, but you want to think about building it up so that the other person that you're engaged with can also build theirs up. As I always talk about, maybe I don't like the word preach, but as I always discuss, get away from religion. See, I'm all about spirituality, but maybe religion I'm interested in, but that's a topic for another discussion again. And but as I always say, you need to get into the paradigm of a win-win, meaning you are trying to elevate your life and you're trying to bring the other people up with you. So I'm coming up and I'm literally yanking these other people up with me. And that's how you have to think about your life for the rest of your life. The rising boat lifts all, I said that wrong. The rising tide lifts all ships. And that's what you want to think. Take the action in your life first, and inevitably you're going to bring other people up with you. So to wrap up, social capital, in every relationship, there is a social bank account and you have currency in that. The higher it goes, the more stuff that you can get away with. But that doesn't mean that you want to get away with stuff just because you have high social capital. You want to get away with that stuff so that it doesn't piss off the other person, so the other person is happier. So you're happier by having high social capital, but the big thing is that the other person is also happier. From there, the halo effect, creating that kind of aura, that image, that almost celebrity-like quality. And again, you can do this through improving your health, getting more fit, with exercising and diet, reading more books, being more knowledgeable. So simple things that you can do is buy a new jacket, improve your fashion a little bit. Things where, again, you're going up a step. You're not like the other people, right? You're taking a step out of the box. making yourself a little bit more presentable, marketable, captivating, halo effect. So you synergize those two things together, you work on building them up, and I guarantee you that not only will you be happier, but everyone else in your life will also be grateful and be happier. I think that's it on tonight's video. Social capital, the halo effect. Get it done.